My lord, I'm afraid you were right when you said these hostilities wouldn't end at Przemyslowice.
That comes as no surprise.
What has happened?
The men reported 2 more attacks today.
Ah, Henry. I'm glad you're here. It seems like we'll have another task for you. Come and join us.
My lord.
Greetings, lad.
The bandits raided a few remote hamlets, but that's the least of our worries. They also attacked Merhojed, and that's a much more serious matter.
Merhojed. Matthias is working there.
They attacked right after the battle in Przemyslowice. Bastards were probably trying to prove they're still strong. But there's a silver lining. The villagers held them off, and they even took 1 captive. He's wounded, but we can still interrogate him.
Your Graces, I hope I'm not intruding.
On the contrary, Master Tobias. Unlike Bernard, you are the bearer of good tidings. Or so I gather from the coin you carry. Tell me, how many groschen did we find in Przemyslowice?
My lord, I'm sorry, but my news is no better than Captain Bernard's. These coins are very good. That is to say, well-made facsimiles, as we call them.
What? I don't give a what you call them. I want to know what they're facking worth.
That's just it, sir. They're worth nothing.
Are you saying what I think you're saying, Master Tobias? This here
is just a pile of copper.
Kurva! Fuck!
Plated with silver, so it's still of some worth.
Kurva! Fuck!
Is it a lot of work to make such counterfeits, Master Tobias?
I should say so, sir. Highly demanding work. Especially to make such plausible forgeries. They would need a well-hidden foundry, several craftsmen, and a source of material.
But they could just be brought in from somewhere else, could they not?
Well, they could, but then again, the silver mines are nearby, and these groschen seem freshly minted, so...
So we are facing a foe who has almost limitless sources of coin. That's all we need.
Doppeltel.
Well, gentlemen, it's clear what we have to do. Interrogate that captive bandit, find out their numbers, and promptly cut off their supply of money. Otherwise, they'll soon have another encampment.
If they haven't already.
I doubt it, sir. Merhojed wouldn't have been able to hold them off if they did.
Well, lad, I said we'd have work for you, but it never crossed my mind there would be this much. You've already proved your worth as an investigator, so I'm putting my faith in you again. Go to Merhojed and question that captive. Find out where those brigands are hiding, how many there are, and what they're planning. And while you're at it, see if you can find some clues as to where this counterfeit coin is coming from.
Very well, sir.
Good luck. We're counting on you. All of us. Come report to me as soon as you know anything. I'll be at the lookout point near Talmberg.
pal? You're a sight for sore eyes. What are you doing here?
It's good to see you too, Matthias. Sir Radzig sent me here to investigate the raid.
Sir Radzig? Looks like you've come up in the world, mate. You're here as his envoy?
He took me into his garrison.
Hal the blacksmith's boy in the service of his lordship. Who'd have ever thought it? My luck hasn't been so good.
You survived. That's something to thank God for.
True enough. If I were in your shoes, I'd get the hell out of here. There's some disease spreading.
Disease?
Folk are saying it's the plague. Whatever it is, it's bad. It started the day after the raid. First the horses got sick, then other animals, and now people are falling ill too.
Oh, damn! Are you alright?
Well, at least I haven't caught the sickness.
But you've been hurt?
It happened during the raid. One of those damn bandits fell on me, horse and all. My arm's badly broken, but better than a broken neck.
Tell me about the raid.
What do you want to know?
I hear one of the raiders was taken captive. I'd like to question him.
Aye, old Melachar let him have it over the head with a flail, and now he's locked up in the barn. But be careful.
Why's that?
That fucker killed young Straw, and his old man's sharpening a sickle for him. Melachar still hasn't decided what to do with him.
I can tell you what he'll do with him. He'll hand him over to Sir Radzig's envoy. Me.
I doubt Melachar will let him go willingly. The folk here are baying for blood. Lives have been lost. First the raid, and now this plague. God knows what they'll do.
I know you've got courage enough for any man, but how did a bunch of untrained villagers manage to hold off armed bandits?
One of the village lads caught sight of them coming through the woods and told Melachar, who roused the whole village, and everyone grabbed what they could. Pitchforks, axes, flails, and we went out to face them.
What? You mounted an assault against them?
Aye, and that was the key. It was the last thing those whoresons expected. A few of them still managed to break through to the village, probably wanted to torch it. But even the women here were armed with what they could find, and they took the bastards by surprise.
Can you describe the raiders?
I don't know. They came at dusk, so you couldn't see their faces. About 20 of them. They weren't humans, though. They spoke Czech.
You talked to them?
No. They were shouting at us. They were very sure of themselves to begin with, but when we hit them in the woods, they didn't look so brave.
About this sickness. When did this plague start?
The day after the raid. The horses were lying down in the stable, so we knew something was up. By afternoon, they were all dead. Then other animals started getting sick, one after the other, and then people.
What are the signs that someone's getting sick?
I don't leave the house much, but folk complain of fever and shakes. Some are throwing their guts up, and others are spewing from the other end.
Has anyone died from it?
Aye, old Vurba. Although he was already on his last legs, so no one knows for sure if it was the plague that got him. Either way, the animals are dropping like flies, and people will end up the same for sure.
Who's ill now?
I don't know. What with my arm the way it is, I don't go outdoors much. But I know Melachar and Straw have sick ones at home.
Can I ask you a bit about Merhojed?
I haven't been here long enough to learn much, but ask away.
Where can I find this straw?
When you take the main gate out of the stables, you'll see 2 cottages outside. Straw lives in the right-hand one.
Can you tell me something about old Straw?
He's a woodcutter, tough as they come, and a hothead. He's been out of his mind since his boy died.
That's normal to grieve, though.
Depends how you look at it. Folk are afraid he'll snap or drink himself to death. What's worse, his wife caught the sickness, and he's not taking care of her.
Where does Melachar live?
When you take the main gate out of the stables, you'll see 2 cottages outside.
What's Melikar like?
The locals look up to him. Smill used to be in charge here, but he was killed in Neuhof.
I know.
Sir Hanush hasn't had time to appoint a new vassal, and folk need someone to speak for them, so they picked Melikar.
Thank God you had someone here who could take the reins.
Aye.
Tell me about...
What do you want to know?
Are you Melikar?
Aye, that's me.
I need to speak with the prisoner.
And why is that? Who might you be?
Henry, envoy of Sir Radzig Kobyla. I'm here to investigate the attack.
I'm sorry. I have other things on my mind right now. In case you hadn't noticed, we have pestilence raging here. And Sir Radzig won't help us with that, any more than he helped us when we were attacked.
No one could have known what would happen.
If Sir Radzig hadn't pissed off into the woods and stayed in the camp, they would never have dared attack us.
If Sir Radzig hadn't gone into the woods, he'd have left so many to attack here that you'd never have fought them off.
It makes no odds now. We've a different problem to deal with.
If there's anything I can do, just tell me.
There's a stable hand living with us here, Matthias.
Yes, I know him.
And he knows some girl who helps out in the monastery infirmary. Johanka, I think her name is. She might know someone to turn to, if she's actually there.
I'm not going to run errands for you. I'll speak with the captive and that's that.
You call yourself a Christian. I hope you burn in the pits of hell, you mangy cur. We're dying here, and the gentry don't give a fuck. But if you think you'll get to talk with that prisoner, you're living in cloud cuckoo land. I wouldn't let you see him even if you set the barn on fire.
Look here, I take back what I said. I rushed things because that captive... If I have to go to the monastery, I need to know as much as possible about the disease. I'll definitely need to know its symptoms. They're bound to ask me that.
It's hard to say. My wife is feverish. Others have the chills. I heard some are throwing up. Others still are breaking out in sores. But why don't you see for yourself? People talk a lot and I don't know what to believe anymore.
Very well, I'll make the rounds.
I've daubed lime on the afflicted houses, but don't stay too long in those homes.
That I can promise you.
Jesus, lad, what are you doing here? Can't you see the plague cross on the door?
I'm here because of it. The monastery sent me to help.
God bless you, boy. It's about time.
I need to know exactly what you're suffering from.
Oh, I see. Well, I have a dreadful fever. My wife, too. I recall almost nothing of yesterday. I was raving for most of it.
Is there anything else? Apart from the fever?
Well, forgive me for saying so. The shit just pours out of me. I can't keep anything in. I'm completely worn out. My wife's the same.
You have my thanks. I'll try to bring help.
Wait a minute, will you? I have one favor to ask.
So tell me.
I need to write my will. Can you write?
Sorry, I can't write.
Well, if you say so. Hurry. May God help us. Otherwise we're doomed.
What? Have you come for my wife? You're out of luck. I'm old Straw, don't you know? Straw! You've taken my son. But you shan't take my wife. You bastard.
I've come to help your wife.
To help her over to the other side. Isn't that God's own truth?
I'm sorry that they killed your son. I truly am sorry. But if you don't want that disease to take your wife, you'll let me see her right away. I can help her.
I don't want her taken, no.
There. You see?
What? Are you a quack?
Something like that.
Then go to it. Go!
Fever. Just like Melchar's wife. Fever. Just like Melchar's wife. Fever. Just like Melchar's wife.
Baby.
Who are you? Can't you see we have the plague cross on the door?
My name is Henry. I'm going to the monastery to get help.
It's long past time. The Lord's already taken my poor Anthony. And what do you want from me?
I need to know how the illness afflicted your husband.
Yes, I'll tell you everything. But first help me bury my husband. I'm too weak. And Melchar said the dead should be buried at once.
Tell me first. I need to go around other infected houses too, but then I'll be back and I'll help you.
Thank you. But please do come back. I can't do it alone. My husband had the fever all over.
Anything else?
He had great pains in his belly. He said it felt like it'd been stuffed with rocks. He was writhing all night through. It must have hurt terribly.
Thank you.
Anthony, my beloved Anthony.
Will you please tell me about his illness?
Certainly. My husband had the fever all over.
Anything?
He had great pains in it.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, Thomas and Pavel are probably playing dice up on the battlements.
Johanka?
Henry?
I'm glad to see you.
Me too. I heard that you're doing well.
Not right now. Matthias sent me.
Matthias? My god, did something happen?
I don't know if you've heard about it, but Merhojed was attacked.
Oh god. How is Matthias?
Wounded in the arm. He's being brave about it, but his injury looks bad.
I need to see him.
Before you go, there's something else.
What?
Some kind of disease has taken hold in Merhojed. Their livestock has died off, and now the people are coming down with it too. I thought maybe someone here might know what to do.
Merciful heavens. How awful. It's a good thing you've come here. If there's any hope, this is the place to find it. You need Brother Nicodemus, the monastery physician. He may know how to deal with it.
Very well, I'll try to find him.
Come back when you know more.
Thank you, Johanka. What's happening here? Oh my god. Philip, they're all...
Yes? Where do you think the wounded ended up?
Actually, I had no idea.
Well, now you know. Me and Nicodemus have been trying to keep things under control since Skalitz was raised. Just the two of us.
So can I help at all?
Certainly. We can always use an extra pair of hands here. And it's been like that since the beginning.
I was in a bad way myself back then. They took me to Ratai unconscious, and I needed a healer. How is everyone holding up? What can I do?
Holding up? People here are dying, usually needlessly, and I can't do anything about it. We don't have enough food or space or anyone who's willing to help us.
Doesn't the monastery care for them?
They give us some food for them and a place to sleep, but I wouldn't say they help exactly. More like they just tolerate us.
Anything else you need?
Look around.
Well, it is a little crowded.
Crowded? I've had to leave some of the sick lying in the open air, even at night. And have you seen what they're lying on?
I'll try to negotiate better conditions with the monastery.
I tried that, out loud. They just nod their heads, but don't move a muscle.
Very well. Why is there a guard outside?
He's here because of me.
Because of you?
Yes. There was one time I just had enough of it all, of the way they treat us, and I almost slapped one of... But that doesn't matter.
And how are you doing? You're the only woman here, alone in the monastery.
Some of the monks speak to me, but other people act like I don't exist. Too bad the custodian isn't one of those.
Is the custodian causing you problems?
All the time. Apparently he has a wife somewhere, but that doesn't stop him. He's constantly strutting around in front of me.
And, what else?
What do you mean, what else? He's invited me to his home.
I could do something about it, if you liked.
No, I can deal with him. The last thing I need is you going around threatening people. It won't help me, and it definitely won't help the refugees.
All right, that's all I need to know.
Look, Henry, I know I can speak harshly, but I'm at the end of my tether. Last week Bohuslav died. Maybe you knew him. And nobody even blinked an eye. We desperately need help.
I'll do whatever's in my power. You're the one who's in charge of the wounded.
Yes, I'm the Infirmarius here. Time was I only had a few elderly monks who couldn't walk to take care of. Now I have this mess to deal with.
Monks so old they can't hold themselves up with their own legs.
Oh, if that were the only bodily function they could control. But I shouldn't talk like that. It's a blessing to live to such an age.
Some kind of disease has taken hold in Merhojed. Your Hanker said that you might be able to advise.
A disease, you say? How intriguing.
Yes, it's very interesting, but can you help these people?
I can't say at this point. I need to find out a little more. Tell me, has the whole village come down with it?
No, I mean, not yet. Several households have, around half the village.
Merhojed? Isn't there a stud farm there? And what of the animals? Did they get infected too?
Yes, there's a stud farm. And they've all died off. The horses, the cattle, chickens, and now it's got to the people.
That is most intriguing. What are we to do about it? Do you know the symptoms?
Yes, more or less.
Excellent. I have several extensive volumes here in the library. Describe the epidemic, including the symptoms, and we could take some guidance there. Can you read?
No, I can't.
Never mind. But do tell me what they're suffering from, and I'll read up on it myself.
They all have a fever. Some are raving, even.
That's to be expected. What else?
One victim complained of having dreadful runs.
Most unpleasant. What next?
One complained of agonizing bellyache.
So it could be of digestive origin. Anything else?
That's it.
Right. Stay until tomorrow. Perhaps I can come up with something.
Right. I could do with a bite to eat.
Christ above! I can't get a wink of sleep.
What are you making such a fuss about?
A fuss? Because of my leg, I have to stay here for at least another week. Hurts like fuck. And with everyone else moaning and groaning all night, I can't get any sleep.
Maybe I can make you something to help you sleep.
Oh, then for God's sake, do it quickly.
Are you serious?
Huh? Shit. What's going on?
You look all right.
Mostly, but my leg still hurts.
Did the humans wound you?
That's what I tell the ladies. Truth is, I did myself a mischief while I was running away.
And do they rebandage it for you?
Occasionally. They told me they don't have enough bandages.
Well, that's no use. Those bandages need changing. I'll get some. He's not reacting. But all I can see that's wrong with him is his leg. He just needs to sleep. These wounds have been well taken care of. These wounds have been well taken care of.
I hope they leave soon.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry. I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
What was that?
What do I have to do to enter the monastery?
You have to know how to read and write, speak Latin, and have a letter of admission from the abbot. But most importantly, your soul must be filled with Christian fervour, and you must be willing to lay down your life for our Saviour.
Letter of admission? Great.
That's the least of your worries. By the look of you, I'd say your biggest problem will be your lack of zeal, so you won't get the letter of admission anyway. Tell me, are you capable of spending your days in quiet meditation and prayer to our Lord? Of renouncing the flesh and raising your spirit to the service of God?
I could do with a bite to eat.
What do I have to do to enter the monastery?
You have to know how to read and write, speak Latin, and have a letter of admission from the abbot.
Letter of admission?
That's the least of your worries. By the look of you, tell me, are you capable of...
I'll have to get... I could do with a bite to eat. I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry. I feel quite hungry.
You there! Stop! You're under arrest for breaking the law.
You!
What the hell are you fooling about here for? Be off now, or I'll fucking see you off.
Who the hell do you think you are? Didn't I tell you you've no business here? If it was up to me, I'd send you straight to the chopping block. You're lucky the law will only let me throw you in jail.
Oh, come on, my friend. You know I'm in the service of Sir Radzig Kobyla, don't you?
Try your fairy tales on someone else. Don't move a finger.
You're dead. In a rush to pray?
Joyous.
Come and get it! Come here, lily liver. Corva.
Gone weak at the knees, you.
What's the matter? Come on.
Ow!
Bring it on! I'll slaughter you.
Come here, lily liver. Ow!
Hey!
All right, enough.
What's the matter? Come on! Now I'll teach you what clear off means. If it was up to me, I'd send you straight.
You're making a serious mistake.
Do you think
Put me in jail then.
just the accommodation for you?
Why are they so badly provided for? People are crammed in next to each other, and some have to sleep outside. That can't be good for them. It gets freezing here at night.
I can't afford anything more for them.
How is that possible? You're the Infirmarius. You decide how all the money gets spent.
But I have no say in how much money I'm given. And because the abbot's away, it's still the same amount I had when I was taking care of a few old men.
And the local custodian? His crew has enough provisions.
I tried him, but it seems he had some disagreement with Johanka, and now he won't give us anything.
I'll try to talk to him. Can't you do anything? Won't the others help?
Unfortunately not. The brothers in the cloister aren't much interested in the external world, and the custodian has enough on his plate with the chaos in the region. Besides, his main concern is the smooth running of the monastery.
Even so, conditions here seem to me quite unchristian.
You're not the only one.
How about some potion to induce heavy sleep?
Certainly. The old reliable.
Reliable?
Some of the brothers like a good sleep, and sometimes that's the only way to get one. I'll show you how.
Thanks. How are the wounded?
Some of them are well taken care of, but others are dying here needlessly. It's a good thing we have Johanka here. I'd never be able to manage on my own.
What do you think about the custodian?
Baron von Berg? Well, he does his job well. He keeps us safe here. And the last time I saw him was when I was rubbing ointment on his rash.
I heard he's been here a lot lately.
That's true. He comes to visit Johanka, but he's never here long, and he always leaves unsatisfied.
Thank you. I'd like to learn something from you.
And what can you do?
A bit of everything.
Can you now? But to be more precise, do you understand herbs and medicinal plants?
To be honest, not really.
So what am I supposed to do with you? Well, never mind. At least you'll learn something new. Go to the herb garden, take a good look at what's growing there, and then pull up the weeds in the herbaceous beds. Is that clear?
Poking around in the dirt isn't the job for me.
If you prefer to carve people up with a sword, you'll have to go elsewhere.
What's wrong with that man by the altar? He doesn't look wounded, but he's really pale. Doesn't react at all.
He had a broken leg. A bad one. The bone had come right through the skin. We tried to straighten it, but I don't know if we did it right. I'm not holding out much hope for him. I've seen folk in that state before, and it didn't end well.
My God. There has to be something we can do.
And what do you suggest? The monks won't help, and I don't know anyone else who can.
Well, I can try. I'll straighten his leg.
You?
Unfortunately, I've had occasion to try this sort of thing before. You have to place the bones as precisely as you can next to each other. It's hard, but you have to ignore any screams of pain. That's the only way to help him.
Well, fine. Try it then.
Are you holding him firmly?
Aye.
Done.
Hey, watch it! Folks these days.
God be with you.
I'm helping at the infirmary now, and I came to...
Ah, and how is Johanka? Do you know her well?
Yes, I do.
Good, good. Does she ever talk about me?
I'm mainly here for supplies and to talk about the state of the wounded from Skalitz. They need blankets, food...
Well, that's not my problem. Let the Infirmarius take care of it.
His hands are tied. Until the abbot comes back, he can't get anything.
And why should that interest me?
Maybe because of Johanka.
What precisely are you getting at?
Something could happen to her too, someday.
If any ill befalls my dear Johanka, she won't be left lying on some grubby floor. I'll personally see to it she's taken care of.
Because I'll pay you.
For supplies? But of course. course. That will be...
Oh, come off it. You get your supplies from the monastery for free. No one will bat an eyelid if you ask for more. Blankets can get chewed up by mice. Food can go off.
You're too clever for your own good, boy.
Oh, you're unbelievable.
I don't know what you mean, but you should go now. You're beginning to bore me.
We were talking about the supplies for the wounded.
Why are you bothering me with that?
Oh, you're unbelievable.
I don't know what you...
We were talking...
Why?
Because I'll... Oh, come off. Blanket... Is this enough?
You won't convince me with that. Yes, these things happen, certainly. And as long as the monastery needs my protection, they'll have to put up with it.
So, how's it looking with this cure?
Oh, It gave me no rest all night, but I think I have it. I'm afraid it's the plague, lad. But with the help of God, we may stop it yet. We shall have to prepare some medicine at once.
I could help with that.
Really?
Yes. I know my way around the alchemistic arts.
An ordinary fellow who knows the arts of physic? Who would have thought it? Excellent. I'll give you the recipe, and you have my permission to make use of the monastery laboratory.
I'll get started right away.
I, meanwhile, shall head straight to, where was it again?
Merhojed.
Oh yes, Merhojed. I'll take Johanka with me. She has no equal in caring for the sick. Once you have the medication...
Thank you, Brother Nicodemus. There's one man there who needs your care more urgently than anyone. He's an important witness in the investigation of some murders.
Out of the question. I shall spend time with the sick in order of their medical needs, not your worldly needs.
I could do with a bite to eat. I have to eat something. My insides are shriveled up with the hunger. I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry. I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry. get hungry.
Well, joke all you like, but I heard it snowed in Sternberg only a week ago.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry. I could do with a bite to eat. I feel quite hungry. feel quite hungry. I feel quite hungry. I feel quite hungry.
My respect.
Jesus Christ be...
God bless.
Good day to you.
I'm interested in your services.
So what are you interested in?
Proper bath. And my clothes need washing.
That can be arranged, but you'll pay in advance.
Fine. Here it is.
I'm sure you'll be extremely satisfied.
What the...
I have the bandages.
Wonderful. Could you tell Brother Nicodemus?
I can do it myself.
I thought you were a blacksmith.
A long time ago. But unfortunately, I've had to learn a thing or two about the art of medicine since then.
Well, fine then. Huh? Shit. What's going on?
How are you feeling?
Good. It feels clean. Hope it helps.
It will. Tell them to rebandage you daily. You have the bandages here.
Thank you very much, Henry.
Don't mention it. I've got something for you.
Really?
Drink this, and you'll fall straight to sleep.
Oh, thank you.
Dear Mistress Johanka, I come again in admiration of your selfless dedication. I would like to invite you to a fine banquet at my palace. You certainly have earned What business have you here, fellow? Who let you in?
I'm taking care of the wounded, as I'm sure you're aware.
Ah. Well then, run along and take care of them, and let me talk to your hunker. You're not needed here.
Wouldn't it be better to have the banquet here, custodian?
What?
If you won't give the sick anything else, couldn't you at least hold the banquet here?
Nobody's going to talk to me that way. Lock him up for the night and let him learn some manners.
Philip, from Skalitz. I don't see any wounds, but he's shaking terribly. Everything here is fine? He'll be able to get out of this on his own. Everything here is fine? What happened to Philip?
Philip?
He's unconscious. He's shivering and he has a fever.
Ah, I didn't know that. When he first came here, he was fine. No wounds on him. He was escorting the others. Then he got worse and worse until he lost consciousness entirely. Ask Johanka. Maybe she'll know more.
So, here I am. How are things looking?
It doesn't look good at all, my boy. Do you have the potion?
Not yet.
So what on earth are you doing here? If we don't give them the potion in time, those people will be joining the heavenly choir soon. Get that medicine, Henry. Off you go.
Thank you. Would you teach me more? Sir? I'd like to practice the...
All right, but it'll cost... Now, pay close attention.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry. Could do with a bite to eat. I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry. Could do with a bite to eat.
Charles IV, King of Bohemia and Holy Roman Emperor, had a long and successful reign. The empire he ruled from Prague expanded, and his subjects lived in peace and prosperity. When the emperor died, the whole empire mourned. More than 7,000 people accompanied him on his last procession. The heir to the throne of the flourishing empire was Charles's son, Wenceslas IV, whose father had prepared him for this moment all his life. But Wenceslas did not take after his father. He neglected affairs of state for more frivolous pursuits. He even failed to turn up for his own coronation as emperor, which did little to endear him to the Pope. Wenceslas the Idle did not impress the imperial nobility either. His difficulties mounted until the nobles, exasperated by the inaction of their ruler, turned for help to his half-brother, King Sigismund of Hungary. Sigismund decided on a radical solution. He kidnapped the king to force him to abdicate, then took advantage of the ensuing disorder to gain greater power for himself. He invaded Bohemia with a massive army and began pillaging the territories of the king's allies. It is here that
eat something. My insides are shriveled up with the hunger. So, I don't think I can...
Of course not. This is a job for... But enough chatter. Time is of the essence. I'll get to work brewing the potion, and then...
That works for me.
Best spend the time praying.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry. Philip.
What the...
I see you look much better.
No, I feel much better. Then I heard it was all down to you. Thank you. If you ever need to know about anything that's going on in Sasau, come and see me. There's nothing much happens here without knowledge. Thomas is my name.
What are you doing?
What happened to Philip?
Poor man. There was nothing wrong with him, and now he's getting worse every day.
But do you know why?
Maybe. He didn't run away from Skalitz, you see. He hid for days, among the corpses. If he got poisoned.
But what can we do?
Us? Nothing. Only Father Simon might have been able to save him. He knew a lot about poisons.
And where is he?
You know he left Skalitz years ago.
And does anyone know where he ended up?
If you believe the stories about a wild man in the woods, then Rovnar is the place to go. Greetings, Henry.
Oh, God damn it, my stomach hurts. About that we... poke...
If...
I'd like to order something here.
Uh-huh. And what do you want?
Get myself fixed up a bit.
But of course. Money first.
Fine. Here.
I'm sure you'll be extreme. God bless.
To get hungry. Could do with a bite to eat.
What?
I have the bandage.
Wonderful.
I can...
Well?
I've got something...
Really? Oh, thank you.
Dear Mistress Johanka, I come again in admiration of your selfless dedication. I would like to invite you to a fine banquet at my palace. You certainly have earned some... What business have you here, fellow? Who let you in?
I'm taking care of the wounded. As I'm sure you're...
Ah. Well then, run along and take care of them, and let me talk to Johanka. You're not needed here.
I won't intrude, custodian.
That's what I like to hear. Well, Johanka has my invitation, so I look forward to seeing her soon.
I could do with a bite to eat.
Huh?
That custodian Sebastian is really obnoxious.
He can be unpleasant, but in his own way. I don't know.
You can't be serious.
What's that supposed to mean? At least he was here, unlike you, the whole time. And anyway, mind your own business.
I feel quite hungry.
Only took me 2 bloody days to dig it out. They had to dig a trench all round as big as the gates of hell to get at the last root.
Well, at least you got it done. You could have waited, though.
I'd love to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
The way my back is now, I wish I had waited.
So here I am. How are things looking?
It's a good thing you're here. We need a helping hand. You can take the cure to the villagers and make sure they take the right dose. I'll take care of Melikar and Straw. You go around the rest of the houses.
They wouldn't let me go near that prisoner. They want him to suffer. Despite his terrible crimes, to treat a fellow mortal soul like that.
Perhaps I'll be able to convince them. I promised I'd bring them help, and I've kept my word. They must let me go to him.
I hope so, but in the short while I've been here, I've found the locals to be rather stubborn.
I feel quite hungry.
You're not allowed inside. If you want to go in, talk to Melikar. God be with you.
I need to talk to that captive.
Sorry, no one's allowed inside. Melikar's orders.
But I'm Sir Radzig Cobbler's envoy, and I urgently need to question the captive.
I don't care if you're the Pope's envoy. If you want to talk to the captive, you have to get permission from Melikar.
Could do with a bite to eat.
Don't speak to me.
I feel quite hungry.
What are you doing here?
Don't worry. Drink this regularly. You and everyone in the house.
A remedy. You have hands of gold. Pure gold, my boy. God bless you.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Good health to you.
I brought some help, as promised. Will you let me see the prisoner?
I will let you, I will. Of course I will. My boy, if you've really brought a potion to rid us of this scourge, I'll let you do anything.
Whether I've managed to rid you of the scourge, that remains to be seen. It'll take a few days before we know whether the potion worked.
I know, but even so, just the fact that someone cares, that means a lot to us.
Don't fret about that, Melikar. A thing like that would have scared anybody. Just take care of, what is your wife's name?
Hannah.
So, take good care of her.
Now open up that shed.
I feel quite hungry.